When he found out I was pregnant, he was even happier than I was, but that very night, an accident happened, and I was forced to have an abortion. After the procedure, I overheard him talking to Eleanor, and only then did I realize he had orchestrated the car crash to help his mistress, Celeste, get practice for her promotion, even letting her remove my ovaries. The child I had longed for during 5 years of marriage became a sacrifice for him to pursue another woman. I left the divorce and disappeared. 3 years later, I became a hospice provider, and my first patient was him, in the late stages of a terminal illness. Mom, you absolutely must keep it a secret that Grace's ovaries were mistakenly removed. Don't let her find out. She's just had an abortion and must be in a bad state emotionally. Eleanor sighed softly. If you truly don't like Grace, then divorce her and bring home someone who can give us children. How can I suggest a divorce right after her abortion? Would that make me a decent person? Then what do you want? I won't accept someone without fertility as my daughter-in-law. Eleanor's complaints were relentless. Marcus, annoyed by the noise, had no choice but to promise that Celeste would bear her a grandchild in the future. Unconsciously, I had bitten my lip until it bled, and the metallic taste of rust spread in my mouth. Marcus orchestrated my car accident simply to provide practice for Celeste, the woman he pursued, to perform an abortion. He didn't even want his own child and had my ovaries removed. The throbbing pain in my heart completely overshadowed the physical agony. Back in my hospital room, I lay on the bed, my heart desolate. I don't know how much time passed before I finally couldn't bear it anymore and fell into a deep sleep. When I opened my eyes again, a discomfort emanated from my lower abdomen. Marcus was slumped beside the bed, tightly holding my hand. The thought of him personally killing my child and having Celeste remove my most vital organs filled me with intense hatred for him. If I hadn't overheard his conversation with Eleanor, I might have blamed myself for not protecting the baby. A wave of nausea surged, and I dry heaved a few times. Mrs. Grace, your baby is gone. Why are you still throwing up? Celeste walked in, wearing a lab with her hands in her pockets. Hearing her voice, Marcus also woke up. Celeste, are you here for rounds? Celeste nodded blankly. She walked to the bedside, and before I could react, her hand was already pressed against my lower abdomen. I cried out in pain. Hiss, what are you doing? I'm helping you expel the blood clots. After an abortion, it's essential to press the abdomen to release toxins. Celeste tried to press my lower abdomen again, but I pushed her hand away with all my might. What nonsense are you spouting? I had an abortion, not a C-section. Why would you press my stomach? Mr. Marcus, your wife is being very uncooperative. I can't do my job like this. Celeste stood aside, adjusted her wire-rimmed glasses, and looked at Marcus with displeasure. Marcus seemed deeply captivated by her, taking a long moment to turn his head. His gaze shifted from admiration to disgust in an instant. Grace, stop being so dramatic, okay? Dr. Celeste is doing this for your own good. Just stop moving. My eyes blazing, I roared. You're full of it. I want a different doctor. Get her out of here. Since Grace has made a request, I will find another doctor to replace me. Celeste, don't go. Marcus pulled her back. You performed Grace's surgery, so you must know her body best. It wouldn't be good to switch doctors now, would it? Celeste pulled her hand free from Marcus's grasp, her tone distant. But your wife doesn't seem to like me as her doctor, and frankly, I don't want any contact with you either. How about I make her apologize to you? I really hope you can continue to be her doctor. Celeste crossed her arms, leaning against the wall, her demeanor cool and distinguished. An apology, that might change things. Marcus's eyes lit up. He turned to me and ordered, Grace, kneel and apologize to Dr. Celeste. I bit out 2 words through clenched teeth. Dream on. If you don't kneel and apologize, then I'll stop all treatment payments for your mom in the ICU. Seeing my hesitation, Marcus grew impatient. Kneeling and apologizing won't cost you a limb. How about this? If you kneel, I'll immediately transfer $2 million to you. Enough for your mom's medical expenses for a year. I clenched my hands tightly, my fingernails digging into my flesh. As I got up from the bed, Marcus noticed the bedsheets stained red. A flicker of distress crossed his eyes. But then he looked at Celeste and compromised, suppressing the humiliation. I knelt before Celeste. I'm sorry. Celeste raised her chin and asked, What did you say? I didn't hear you clearly. And what about the promised kneeling? I'm sorry. I bowed my head heavily. Marcus was very satisfied. And a bank notification for 1 million arrived on my phone. Celeste shook her head disdainfully. Money is so powerful. It can buy anything. Too bad I see money as dirt, Celeste. You truly are the purest person in this world. All right, Mrs. Grace, lie back down. I need to continue pressing your abdomen. I lay back on the bed, tears streaming down my face. The excruciating pain in my lower abdomen numbed even my heartache. It wasn't until I felt a massive gush of warmth that Celeste's face suddenly turned red, then pale. Marcus quickly stepped forward to comfort her. Don't be afraid. It's her own body that has problems. Immediate. I was rushed into the operating again due to severe bleeding. Celeste changed into scrubs, and before the anesthesiologist even arrived, she eagerly picked up a scalpel and cut open my abdomen. Mrs. Grace, this is bad. Your uterus is congested. I'm afraid we can't save it. I was in too much pain to speak clearly, only managing to mumble. Quack, don't worry. I'll do my best to save your life. Nothing else matters in the face of life. Celeste was sweating profusely, and the male nurse beside her, feeling sympathy, kept wiping her forehead. I eventually passed out from the pain. When I awoke, I heard Marcus's solicitous voice outside the hospital room. Are you saying that if you perform another hysterectomy on the patient in vegetative, you'll be eligible for chief? Yes, actually, with my connection to the dean, just one word from me, and you could skip the evaluation and directly. Celeste suddenly interrupted him. Mr. Marcus, what kind of person do you take me for? I've told you many times that I don't need your charity or pity. I can achieve everything I want through my own abilities. With that, she angrily left, ignoring Marcus's almost pleading apologies. Don't worry, I'll definitely help you. Marcus muttered to himself, watching Celeste's retreating figure. I knew I would never have children again, so when Marcus entered the hospital room, I hurled the cup directly at his head. He winced and glared at me, but seeing my tear-streaked face, his expression softened. Wife, you're awake. As long as you're okay, we can be child-free by choice or adopt. He sat by the bed and comforted me gently. Slap, seeing's hypocritical face, I didn't hesitate to slap him. My was the Zhu family's nanny, to save his father. She let the doctors drain her rare blood type, hoping they would treat me well, before fell into a coma. Marcus swore he would wholeheartedly cherish and love me for the rest of his life, but now, for another woman, he harmed me and our child, and even used Mom to threaten and humiliate me. Wife, you're worried about my mom, right? Don't worry. I won't let her bother you. I closed my eyes in disappointment. I want a different doctor. What are you making a fuss about now? Marcus lost his patience, looking at me irritably. Celeste saved you with all her heart. She even got tendinitis. You just lost your uterus and ovaries. It doesn't affect your life. Are you very close with this doctor? Marcus hastily retorted. Grace, don't use your filthy thoughts to suspect Celeste. She's not the kind of person you imagine. What kind of person? I know you suspect her of being a mistress, that she used me to climb the ladder. I can tell you very clearly, no, she didn't. I do have feelings for her, but she keeps her distance from me. Don't judge a good person with a small mind. I sneered. In his heart, Celeste was like a goddess descended from heaven, unattainable. I didn't want to argue with him anymore. I just wanted to recover and then, after being discharged, take Mom and leave Marcus completely. If I couldn't fight them, I could at least leave them. I voluntarily withdrew to let them be. Over the next few days, Marcus actually found me a different doctor, and he was too busy to visit my hospital room often. I found the quiet peaceful, but I never imagined they would set their sights on Mom. When's attending physician contacted me. Celeste and her team had already pushed her into the operating. Seeing me rush over in a panic, Marcus froze for a moment. Wife, why aren't you resting in your hospital room? What are you doing here? Marcus, what have you done? Where's my mom? He avoided my gaze, not daring to look at me. How would I know? You killed our child for that wretch Celeste, left me without ovaries and a uterus, and now you want to harm my mom? Are you even human? What's the big deal if your mom, at her age, loses her uterus? Our voices attracted many onlookers, doctors and patient families. Many recognized Mr. Marcus. Isn't that Mr. Marcus? So this must be Mrs. Grace. Is what she's saying true? Probably. Look how weak she is. She clearly just had a major surgery. I can't believe Mr. Marcus is interested in our hospital's aloof campus beauty. He'll really have to work to win her over. How disgusting. Shouldn't he get a divorce before pursuing another woman? Is it fun to bully a woman like this? Hearing people stand up for me, Marcus's face darkened. Suddenly, he slapped me, knocking me to the ground. You have the nerve to talk about the child. Whose baby was it anyway? Don't you know the truth? At his words, everyone's tone shifted. I knew it. How could a father kill his own child? So, he was on. This woman is shameless. Blaming Dr. Celeste exactly. You can't just slander Dr. Celeste just because she's innocent and kind, pa. What a shameless woman. I couldn't believe Marcus would fabricate such a lie for Celeste. He helped me up in front of everyone, whispering an apology in my ear. I'm sorry, wife. Celeste is about to be promoted to chief, and what you just said will have a big impact on her, with so many people here. I had to defend her. Just then, the operating doors opened, and Celeste emerged. Mrs. Grace, your mother's surgery was very successful, although she previously had a messy private life, and contracted some rather discreet diseases. After my treatment, those issues will not recur. Everyone was astonished, so their family's reputation is for being promiscuous. Dr. Celeste is truly beautiful and kind-hearted to treat someone so unclean. Dr. Celeste is a medical. Chief is definitely her. Celeste basked proudly in everyone's adoration. I, however, charged forward and grabbed her hair, pulling it tightly. Shut up. I forbid you to insult my mom. She became a patient in vegetative to save Marcus's father. You're not allowed to spout nonsense. Celeste defiantly lifted her chin. I'm willing to stake my professional career on it. Your mother did have a sexual disease, which is why I removed her uterus. I come from a humble background. Not as privileged as your wealthy family. You can look down on my family, but you can't look down on my years of diligence for medical. Shut up. I pulled her head, intending to hit it against the wall, but she twisted, hitting the glass door instead. Her blood stained the glass shards, and Marcus shoved me away like a madman. Though injured, Celeste maintained her noble and aloof composure. Mr. Marcus, I don't know why Mrs. Grace is doing this to me, but please keep your distance from me. Don't let her misunderstand. Dr. Celeste. Bad news. Bad news. The patient suddenly had a massive hemorrhage and has no vital signs. The nurse from the operating suddenly burst out. I couldn't even go in to see Mom one last time. The male nurse was very strong and held me back. Just then, Eleanor rushed over anxiously. Grace, why isn't your mom in the ICU? Yours old illness flared up again. Donation. The dad she referred to was Marcus's father. His old illness was caused by irregular smoking, drinking, and lifestyle, requiring at least 5 blood, but now, Mom was gone. The person closest to me in this world was gone. Eleanor saw that I wasn't speaking and glared at me, gritting her teeth. Speak up. Where's your mom? Dead. Killed by your son, I said, syllable by syllable. Eleanor froze, then caught sight of her son and Celeste embracing in her peripheral vision. She seemed to understand something. Just died. Then can she still donate blood? Monstrous. I suddenly laughed. Everyone thought I was crazy and recoiled. It wasn't until Mom's body was wheeled out that I broke down and cried hysterically. The next few days, I was busy with Mom's process certificate. Our family had no relatives, so only I attended Mom's funeral. Marcus spent those days at the hospital taking care of the injured Celeste. He said that if I apologized, Celeste wouldn't pursue the matter of me harming her, but he wouldn't get that chance, because I had already signed the divorce and left for abroad with Mom's ashes. It was 3 years later when I returned to this city. My mentor said there was a strange patient here, with a strange illness and an even stranger temper. But I had a good nature and had always gotten along well with such patients. In these 3 years abroad, I had become an excellent hospice provider. Patients under my care would often have their lives extended by a year or 2. So my mentor brought me back to China to develop this service, but I never expected my first patient back home to be Marcus. Looking at him now, I felt a strange sense of satisfaction. Is that you, Grace? I smiled politely and nodded. Hello, Mr. Marcus. I'm Grace, your hospice provider, or perhaps I should call you Mrs. Zhu. Marcus's face wasn't good. His lips parted and closed, but he ultimately said nothing. I had seen his medical records. He was in the advanced stages, and without a suitable kidney donor, he had at most 1 month to live. It turned out that in the 3 years I was gone, he had been a blood for his father. even donating both of his own kidneys to him, and he and Celeste. Marcus, why are you so sentimental now? You're dying anyway. Why bother with hospice services? After a few years, Celeste had become even more distinguished, covered head to toe in designer brands. Seeing me, she paused for a moment, then took off her sunglasses and sneered. So, UX, no wonder you insisted on hospice services, Mrs. Grace. You've certainly changed a lot in a few years. I'm not Mrs. Zhu. I have my own name. Stop pretending. Are you still playing to get? You can get a different care provider. I can also choose my clients, no? Grace, I want you. Marcus's face flushed as he squeezed out those words. Celeste looked at him in disbelief, then displayed an expression of contempt. Marcus, in your current state, you still want to rekindle things. Who else would want you now, you unsexed? Get out. Marcus collapsed to the ground, clutching his chest. Before he could finish his sentence, Celeste seemed used to it. She found someone to drag him to the emergency room and glared at me as a warning. What? You think Marcus is dying? Last? I didn't want to bother with her, but she held me tightly, not letting me leave. Let go, Grace. Stop acting, okay? You're using all my old tricks. Do you really think I can't see through you? I shook off her hand and calmly said, Celeste, I'm not you. And I don't want to be involved in your and Marcus's affairs anymore. With that, I walked straight to my mentor's office. Change patients. Do you know that in our profession, changing clients is the biggest taboo? Unless you give me a reason. Marcus is my ex-husband. Is that reason enough? Ethan's eyes paused. I didn't deny it, he continued. Then you definitely can't change. What do you mean? Don't you want revenge? Revenge against those scumbags. I don't believe you can swallow this anger. Ethan's words reignited my hatred. 3 years ago, I was robbed abroad. And he saved me and took me in. These past few years, he poured his heart into teaching me. And I was honest with him. He hated Marcus and Celeste even more than I did. But he's already dying. Then let them destroy each other. Celeste stayed by Marcus's side day and night, leaving me no chance to enter the hospital room, but could. Marcus was in a coma for several days, and Ethan and Celeste grew much closer. Ethan learned from Celeste that after Eleanor's death, she and Marcus still hadn't married because Arthur disapproved. Now that Marcus was like this, Arthur had completely given up on his son and started looking for younger women to bear him children. Dr. Ethan, why is my life so miserable? I lost my parents when I was young and relied on myself to reach the pinnacle of medicine. And now I can't even save my own boyfriend. Listening to Celeste's ridiculous words outside the hospital room, I rolled my eyes. Why would such a beautiful girl waste her time on a man like him? Ethan's tone was very seductive. Celeste must have been so charmed. She didn't even notice Marcus opening his eyes on the bed. She suddenly threw herself into Ethan's arms. Dr. Ethan, thank you for comforting me. Ethan raised his hands, maintaining a gentlemanly posture. He gave an awkward smile. Ms. Lin, your boyfriend is awake. Celeste stiffly turned around, looking at the man covered in tubes on the bed, unable to hide the disgust in her eyes. You. Marcus's voice was too hoarse to make a sound. Ethan gave a few casual instructions, then left the hospital room. You go tell him the news next. He returned to his office, threw off his jacket, and washed his hands several times. Wait. He called me back just as I was about to leave. Be careful. He's your enemy. Don't develop any different feelings. The same goes for you, doctor. Don't fall for her just because she's pretty. Don't you know who I like? I left his office without looking back. I wasn't unaware of his feelings for me, but I felt like someone as incomplete as I was shouldn't hold him back. When I arrived at Marcus's hospital room, Celeste was already gone. Realizing I noticed the bedding beneath him was wet, he turned his head away in embarrassment. I found someone to change his bedsheets, as I didn't want to talk to him in a smelly room. Grace, thank you. In these 3 years, I truly regret everything I did to you. Can you still forgive me? It turned out that after I left, Marcus was eager to officially recognize Celeste. However, Celeste's opportunity to become chief was affected by my mother's death. She needed to complete another surgery. Marcus then set his sights on his own mother, but was a quack, and his mother also died under her scalpel. Marcus's obsession with Celeste had reached a mad level. He didn't care even when his mother died. He eventually sought out the dean. Celeste finally got the position she coveted. In these past few years, countless patients had been harmed or killed under her care. She was reviled by former patients. She had no choice but to have Marcus cooperate with her experiments. She transplanted other female patients' uteruses into Marcus's body. By the time Marcus felt something was amiss, it was already too late to save his life. Sexual removed. Celeste's experiment even received an award from an organization abroad, making her a widely admired doctor once again, but now had little time left. Marcus, I just got some bad news I have to tell you. Your father passed away last night from a sudden heart attack. Due to an overdose of sildenafil. Cough. Marcus coughed violently, but it didn't hide the excitement in his eyes. Old derogatory. Finally couldn't outlive me. Don't get agitated. I poured him a cup of warm water and continued. Actually, I saw your medical records and matching situation the other day. You and Celeste are a very good kidney match. If she's willing, you could live much longer, really. Marcus tightly squeezed my hand, desperate for a definitive answer. I smiled and nodded. He couldn't wait to call Celeste. The two struck a deal. If Celeste donated a kidney to him, he would give her half of his family's fortune. Although the zoo corporation had been in decline for years, half of the assets still amounted to several $1,000,000, so Celeste was naturally willing. After the surgery, both recovered well, but still stayed in the hospice facility every day. He seemed to have forgotten the promise he made to Celeste. When she came looking for him again, Marcus was proposing to me in front of everyone. I smiled and put on the ring. Celeste rushed forward like a madwoman, punching and kicking me. You shameless hussy. How dare you seduce someone else's husband? Why don't you die? Celeste, stop acting crazy. We have no relationship whatsoever. When did I become a husband? Grace and I were married for 5 years. You were the one who destroyed my family. Now is willing to forgive me, so get as far away from here as possible. Fine. I'll leave. I can leave, but I want every penny you promised me. Dream on. Why would I give you my money? Celeste and Marcus had known each other for quite some time. Yet, she hadn't realized he goes on one's word. The farce ended with the police arriving to mediate. I remarried Marcus, getting a marriage and having a simple wedding. On our wedding, sexual, he drank a lot, held me, and cried, apologizing. After he fell asleep, Ethan burst in, his face dark. You were smiling so happily today. I almost thought you weren't acting. My great revenge is about to be accomplished. My smile is genuine. Let me show you something. Ethan pulled out his phone and showed me his chat history with Celeste from the past few days. Celeste had portrayed herself as a pitiful woman, used and abandoned by her boyfriend after he took her kidney, hoping to gain Ethan's sympathy and affection, but after all, was not Marcus. He never gave her any definite answer. However, from the messages Celeste sent, it was clear that she was planning to get revenge on Marcus and me very soon. It's time to end this farce. Not yet. I want to watch them destroy each other with my own eyes. Then why did you marry Marcus? For the money, of course. I gave a self-deprecating laugh. Are you disappointed in me? I'm just such a vulgar woman. I wasn't lying. It really was for Marcus's money. It was money I deserved. If hadn't saved Marcus's father, his family would have gone bankrupt long ago. Ethan hugged me tightly, his heart aching. We drank a lot and talked about many things we hadn't discussed before. He said that after this was over, we would go live abroad. He said we would open the largest hospice facility in the world together. He said he loved me, so, using the alcohol as an excuse, we naturally gave in to everything. Only, Marcus woke up before us the next day. What did you two do last night? Ethan tucked the bedding around me, smiling triumphantly. On our wedding. What else would we do but consummate the marriage? Marcus's eyes turned bloodshot with rage. Let go of my wife. Grace, did he force you? He reached out, trying to forcibly pull me off the bed. I impatiently pushed him away. Grace? Marcus looked at me in disbelief, then noticed the ambiguous marks on Ethan's body. He understood. His face immediately darkened. Grace, you can't possibly think he's a good guy, can you? I personally saw him hitting on Celeste before. So? Marcus closed his eyes, as if making a huge decision. Get up right now and promise you'll never contact this man again. I can forgive your transgression from last night. I smiled faintly. If you kneel and apologize to me, I might consider it. You. What did you say? She told you to kneel and apologize, you idiot. Grace, are you really going to be this heartless? Heartless? Am I as heartless as you? You were the one who personally killed our child. I regret it now. Not only do I want you to kneel and apologize, I also want you to personally destroy Celeste to atone for my dead child. Otherwise, I pulled out a small. This was what was keeping Marcus alive. Sexual. Only this small could calm him down. And I was the only one who knew where to get it. He had to take one every day to alleviate the discomfort. Okay, I'll destroy Celeste right in front of you. Marcus fell to his knees, begging me like a lapdog. I casually dropped the small on the ground, and he actually licked it into his mouth with his tongue. Get out and find Celeste. I want another round with Grace. Ethan impatiently started ushering him out. Marcus glared at us fiercely, but ultimately walked out of the room in humiliation. What did you give him? Just a pill made of tranquilizers. I had just picked up my clothes, ready to put them on, but Ethan snatched them away. We said another round. Let him know how amazing I am. Ethan wouldn't take no for an answer. Outside, the sounds of things crashing contrasted sharply with the intimate murmurs inside the room. When we finished, Celeste arrived. Marcus, have you finally come to your senses? I'm the one you love, right? Celeste had lost a lot of weight recently, making her seem even more pitiable, but had been harmed so much by her. I couldn't feel any pity for her. He pretended to pour her a cup of tea. Yes, I realize Grace is no match for you. You're still the best, Celeste, without any guard, drank the tea in the cup completely. Then will you divorce Grace for me? Oui. Her body went limp, and she collapsed onto the couch. You wretch. You ruined me. Emasculated mess. And you still want me to marry you? Go to hell. Marcus picked up the kitchen. You seduced me, killed my child, killed my mother. I'm going to avenge them. The scene on the security. Ethan covered my eyes. Soon, his palm was wet with my tears. Marcus's body is starting to reject the transplant. He doesn't even know the kidney he received was from a pig. Before the police arrive, we should leave quickly. I nodded softly, agreeing with him. As we left, I saw Marcus clutching his chest, collapsing onto the shattered coffee. Celeste's abdomen was empty, surrounded by a pool of crimson. The kitchen somehow caught fire. Luckily, Ethan and I escaped. The fire grew rapidly. By the time the police and firefighters arrived, the mansion was reduced to a shell. Marcus and Celeste had been burned to ashes. My child and mother finally had their day. Last beneficiary. I did not listen to Ethan and go abroad. Instead, I used the money to open several hospice facilities in China. I hope to do my best to help more people face death. Ethan became my business partner and life partner. Without the burden of hatred, I dedicated myself even more to hospice care, and my hospice facilities became popular nationwide. When proposed, I did not accept. I could use him to release stress. Official, from then on, my career was everything I pursued.